So I have another joke in here. At the end of our meeting or our, I guess, learning lesson, our instructional lesson, you will have another joke. So hopefully they're not as cheesy as the other ones. All right, so whoa, this chapter, chapter 12, was not long, not very long. I mean, it was longer than the other chapters in Frindle, but we've seen longer chapters in Charlotte's Web. But my goodness, this chapter was called Airwaves. And if you didn't know, I'm going to give you some information. The reason why it's called Airwaves is because this whole chapter was about how the story of Frindle went national and it got on to the news. So airwaves is a reference to how it's like it goes through waves in the air to your TV screen. Well, this is what happened. So like that was like the first part of the chapter. And then the second part of the chapter was about how the gentleman, Tom, how he liked the idea of Frindle and he heard about it from the newspaper. So what did he do? He wrote a trademark patent for the word Frindle. He had his lawyer write it up. And if you don't know anything about trademarks, like for instance, the word McDonald's, you can't use that name in any other, if you have a business, you can't use that name, McDonald's, for your business because it's been trademarked by, McDonald's. So it's like a law saying you can't use that name unless you have permission from the person who owns it. And in this case, Tom wanted to ask Nick's dad if he could use that word because everyone knows from the TV, from the news TV and the newspaper article that Nick made this word and it was his word. So the only way he could use it and actually sell pins that say Frindle on it or sell them with t-shirts, the name Frindle with t-shirts, is that if he got permission from Nick and Nick's dad. So it's like, yeah, you can use it and he gets money. He gets 30% of what the guy makes from that word. And so Nick's dad, at the end, you realize, is just going to take the money and not tell Nick that he has money because he wants to save it. And if Nick doesn't want Nick to use it, and put it in an account for his college savings when he gets older. So it's a perfect idea. And his first paycheck for the first 3 weeks, before it even went to the news, before he got national all over the United States, was $2,250, 30%. So I can't imagine how much the money is going to be when the sales come in from it going national. All right, so it was a pretty long chapter. Like I said, the first half was about them doing an interview on, I think it was CBS. They had, CBS did an interview on them and put it on the national TV where over 22 million people watched the show. So now the word has become everywhere and everyone's using that word Frindle. So let's go ahead and check our work. So I'm bringing it up for us. Here we go. And the first one is the word trademark. As you know, that Tom, our friend Tom, wanted to trademark, or actually, sorry, Tom, I keep on saying Tom. Tom is Nick's dad, Tom Allen, sorry. Bud Lawrence, my mistake. Bud Lawrence wanted to trademark it and had to get Tom Allen's permission. Tom Allen is Nick's dad. So Bud Lawrence is the guy who wants to trademark, sell like pins with the name Frindle on it and t-shirts with Frindle on it. So that's where the word trademark comes from. It's trademark. Basically, when I was thinking of it on page 72, let me get my notes up. Here we go. On page 72, I was thinking of it's a owned logo or like word, an owned logo. Someone owns it and they have it. It's their property, so no one can take it. So when I looked it up on Google, it was pretty much the same thing. It means a symbol or word, words that are legally registered. So you put in an application to get your symbol or words registered and it has to get approved. And that's the step that Buzz Lawrence is in. He put in an application to get it approved. Hasn't got approved yet because he needs Nick or his dad, because Nick's a child, to approve it's okay for him to use it. All right. So yes, so that's what trademark means. You can't use the symbol or the word unless you get approval by the people who own it. All right, so let's clear that off. And let's go to the next one. Frindle. Frindle and pen mean the same thing. So this is one of those that we are correcting the sentence. And in this case, we're circling the nouns and placing a square around the verbs. So let's start off with correcting the sentence. Frindle needs to be capitalized because it's the beginning of a sentence, and it needs a period at the end. Now, we are going to do the circle the nouns. Frindle is a noun because it means pen. It's a thing. Pen is a thing. So frindle and pen mean the same thing, and the word thing is a thing. So it's a noun. So now let's put a square around the verbs. The verbs is mean. That's what they're doing. They mean that. Now it's not an action, but it shows you what they mean the same thing. All right, next one. Tom Allen. Now Tom Allen is Nick's dad, who signed for Bud Lawrence to use the word frindle and make money. So Tom Allen is Nick, just the kid Nick Allen's dad. Now, because the dad belongs to Nick, and it's not, we're not talking about Allens, we're talking about one Allen, and he has a dad. So Tom Allen is Nick Allen's dad, period. All right, and dad is not capitalized because in this case we're not using it as a name, but as a person, just a regular person, a dad. All right, so let's go ahead and circle the nouns. Well, we know Tom Allen is a noun. We know Nick Allen is a noun. They are proper nouns, actually. We know a dad is a noun. It's a person. So the only word left is, and is a verb. That is what they're doing. There is. Tom Allen is Nick's dad. All right, let's clear that off. There you go. If you have any questions about that, let me know. And we'll go down to the next one. Read this sentence from the text. Bud pointed at the papers on his desk. That's a contract, and it's fair and honest. It gives your boy 30% of whatever profits I make. That's the fair royalty. Generous for this kind of deal. What does the word royalty mean as it is used in this sentence? Well, you have to really think about it. Royalty. Are they talking about like kings and queens? No. Let's see. Using our context is what are they talking about? They're talking about giving money because Bud wants to use the word frindle. So they're going to give him 30%, give him Buddy. So let's see what the answer choices could be. Which one would make sense to that, giving him money for using a word? A person who could be a king or queen. I said no, they're not talking about kings and queens here. An amount of money to be earned for doing one's work every day. Well, we're not talking about one's work every day because it said, you know, a profit and let's see, 30% of whatever profits. So he's not really working. The profits are more like what they make for selling things, and he's not going to be selling any, like, Nick's not going to be selling anything. It's going to be Bud Lawrence selling it. And it says that kind of deal. So it's a deal. It's not necessarily like they're doing some work, everyday work. It's a deal that they're going to shake hands on. So yeah, I don't think it's that one. Let's go on. A person who's related to king or queen. No. An amount of money paid to a person for use of his or her idea or product. Yes. Yes, because that's what's going on here. Bud Lawrence wants to pay the Allens, Nick Allen, 30% of what he makes from that word frindle. So yes, that is what's going on here. And the word that really helps me is that word profits and that word deal, because you know they made a deal and he's going to give him some profits on what he makes. All right, so what phrases from the text, phrase or phrase help you identify the meaning of the word royalty in item 3? Well, I just did profits and deal, and explain how I know. Well, I said, let's type it out. All right. The word, so these are my context clues. This is what you do. You think of words that help you around it. Think about what's going on in the sentence and the words around it that can help you. The word profit and deal helps identify the word royalty. Now, I can't just leave it like that because it said explain. So I explain these words show that someone is getting money and giving some of it to someone else. Yes. So the word profit, like you're going to have a profit, you're getting money. And the word deals, like you're making a deal. I'm going to give you some money and because I got some money in for your work. So it shows that they're getting money and they're going to give it and give some of it to someone else to use it so he can make that business. There you go. So that's how I explained it. Remember, always using your context clues. Stop and think. All right. And make sure you read the words around it, read the text around it, and see ask yourself what is happening to help you know. Because that word royalty is a multiple meaning word. All right. Next, what happened as a result of Judy Morgan's Frindle article? So Judy Morgan was the one who wrote the newspaper article. So what happened after that? She wrote the newspaper article. I remember, and this chapter was so big that a lot of things happened. Let's read them as we go. And if you didn't know, you could always go back and look. Every in Wayfield learned, I think this was everyone in Westfield learned that a frindle was a pin. Yes, from that article, everyone got the article and read it. All the kids at Nick's school were on television doing interviews. That was not true. There was only a couple of people. I think there was four people altogether that did interviews. Nick, Mrs. Granger, Mrs. Chapman, the principal, and Bud Lawrence, the one who was selling the stuff. So I think there's only 4 people. There was not everyone in school. Nick became famous and did television interviews. Yes, that is true. Frindles spread throughout the United States. That is also true because it went everyone in the kids in Ohio, the kids in the high school, the kids in Idaho, it said, were all using these words. Nick's dad retired from a hardware store to manage Nick's career. No, Nick didn't have a career. Remember, he said the word belongs to everyone. He did make up the word, so he did start getting money from Bud Lawrence, but his dad didn't retire. His dad was saving the money for his college. Bud Lawrence started a Frindle business. Yes, that is true. He did start a business, and that's how Nick's dad's getting the money to save him. Nick took a trip to Japan to attend the opening of his Frindle store. No, there's no Frindle store, so no, that did not happen. All right, so it's A, C, D, and F. All right, next one. How did Nick feel about the attention he was getting? Use information from the text to support your answer. All right, so this one was on page 78 or 70. Yeah, I think I put down 70. Yeah. The kids started expecting him to be clever and funny all the time. And even for a kid as smart as Nick, that was asking a lot. So he could feel, and also said he could feel it when someone recognized him, and it made him shy and awkward. So right there, the author tells you, the narrator tells you how Nick is starting to feel. So I used my text. I went back to page 70 and found it right there. So I'm going to write it down. Nick was starting to feel shy and word. And why was he starting to feel shy and awkward? Because everyone was recognizing him. Because everyone who he was and was expecting him to be clever and funny all the time. So yeah, he was like, he always has to be clever and funny, and everyone's expecting for him to be that way when they see him. So it was starting to get really awkward. All right, I'm gonna clear that one off, and all you have to do is go back to page 70 for that answer. Next, how is Alice Lunderson important to helping the word Frindle spread from Westfield? Explain. Okay, so if you didn't know who Alice Lunderson was, you can go back in the text, and you quickly realize that Alice Lunderson was the person who gave the interview on CBS. So it has her on page 73 and 74. You start to realize that that's who the person was. And because it also went to 20 million, that interview went to 20 million people. So because she gave that interview, that's how it was able to spread from Westfield to everyone else, because she gave an interview and she worked for CBS, and 20 million people were watching that show. That's like the evening news that everyone watches. So there you go, I explained it. I'm going to type it in now for you. In a complete sentence, Alice Lunderson was important by spreading the word to the, let's see, Aslan was important by spreading the word Frindle, I'm going to say, to the nation, because it was all over the United States, to the nation by giving Nick, Mrs. Granger, Mrs. Let's see, Mrs. Cunningham, it was Mrs. Why do I keep on saying Cunningham? I think it's Mrs. What's her name? Mrs. Chatham. I don't know why I say Cunningham. Mrs. Chatham. Mrs. Chatham. That's why you have to go back and look. I just went back in my book and looked for the correct name. Mrs. Chatham and Bud Lawrence an interview about the word on CBS. There you go. That's how she spread it nationally, and on CBS, and they were able to watch it. So about the word on CBS let's put this even down to 2 million. That's what I said in there. Sorry, not 2 million, 20 million people. There we go. Next. Why did Bud Lawrence meet with Nick's dad, Tom Allen? So Tom Allen's Nick's dad. Bud Lawrence is the guy who wanted to use the word Frindle to sell products with it on it. Bud Lawrence really likes to hang out with Tom Allen? No. Bud Lawrence needed some tools from Tom Allen's hardware shop? No. Bud Lawrence's lawyer advised him to get the contract from Tom Allen. Yes, they had to get a contract because he couldn't use the word Frindle because it belonged to Nick. So they had it doesn't belong to him anymore, but he's the one who made it. So it originally came from him. So Nick's the one who sort of owned it. So he had to get a contract sign so he could use the word on products to sell. All right. What happened as a result of Bud Lawrence and Tom Allen's meeting? So remember, they met and they signed it and he gave him approval, and Tom started getting money and started putting it away in a savings account for Nick when he got older to go to college. Bud Lawrence could keep selling Frindle merchandise. Yes, Tom allowed him to do that. Bud Lawrence would pay Nick 30% of everything he sold. Correct. That's how he's getting the money. Tom Allen did not sue Bud Lawrence for royalties. That is true. He did not sue him. He said he signed the contract instead of suing him. Tom Allen set up a secret bank account for Nick's royalties. Yes, that is also true. He didn't let anybody know because he didn't want Nick to know specifically, because he knew that Nick would try to spend some of the money. He wants to save it for college because it's a lot of money. And Tom Allen went home to explain the contract to his wife. No. So it's A, B, C, and D. All right. Number 10, the last one. How does Nick's dad feel about Frindle mania? Support your answer with information from the text. All right. So let me clear off all the other ones. So how did Nick's dad feel about the Frindle mania? Well, it says right here, when he first met with Bud Lawrence, the author gives you a good point of view of Nick's dad. It says, well, it says, Tom says, yes, he's quite something, that's for sure. But I tell you, Bud, I'm ready for it all to just die down and blow away. It's too much fuss. So his dad, let's put it down. Nick's dad felt it was too much fuss and wanted it to blow over. It means he wanted it to not actually blow away, but he just wanted it to pass. All this fame and all these interviews, he just wanted to go away because it was just becoming too much to deal with. His dad was starting to get overwhelmed and had to take off work a lot. So there you go, and it's directly from the text on page 80. So remember, always go back and look in the text. All right, you guys. So here is the next one. And tomorrow you will be reading chapter 13 and doing the papers for chapter 13. There's no test tomorrow, okay? We're going to finish Frindle before you have that Frindle test. Here we go. Here's the next joke. Why wouldn't the shrimp share his treasure? Because he was a little shellfish. So he wouldn't share it because he's shellfish. Get it? Shellfish, because a shrimp is shellfish. Get it? All right. Well, you definitely know that this is not true in this book. It seems like everyone has a good morals in this because even Bud Lawrence was willing to make it right and share his earnings with Nick. All right. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.